What's happening? This is Grant Luna with Fidelity National Title, and for today's Tech Tuesday, I'll be showing you how you can use ChatGPT, which is an AI system I've been showing recently, which can essentially do most of your bidding as a realtor, whether that's coming up with text campaigns, email campaigns, calling scripts, letters. Essentially anything you feed this thing, it'll do for you. So I wanted to show you a real world example of how you can basically get data from Fidelity Total Farm, come up with a script for reaching out to renters living around an open house that you'll be doing, and send that out in an email campaign and get some content with Fidelity Agent 1. So essentially at the end of this, you'll walk away with the ability to do something like this. You can have a script written for you. Within this, it's going to give actual data as well as showing you how to get something like this. So some good content. So stick around and let's jump into it. So starting off, we'll need Fidelity Total Farm. That's our system where you can essentially create farms with as many records as you want, and you can export that data as well as get contact information for people within that farm area. So creating a farm is pretty simple. It's like creating a polygon map within the MLS where you kind of create different points. I created this map earlier here. There's a video on my playlist that actually shows you how to do that. Make sure to check that out. But I basically created this farm already ahead of time. Now I'm in this system. So Coastal San Pedro open house. This is a hypothetical open house that I have. Right now it's giving me every single record of owners in this area, 2,888 records. What I can actually do is filter down this data a little bit more. So maybe I want people that are renting. So some criteria that might be useful of that or for that are out of state and absentee. So out of state essentially gives you the properties where the owners themselves own a property in that map area that I drew, but they themselves don't live there. So if I go to the mail address, which is where the property owner lives, I can see where they live. So this person lives in Texas, Arizona, Washington, Alabama, Colorado. The site address is different. It's in San Pedro, which means it's likely, in my opinion, rented out. Some people might just have it, vacant, not sitting there, not living there. But some people, I would assume, in this area are renting that out. Absentee is similar. The property owners themselves don't live there, but they could just live down the street in San Pedro. So, for example, I can actually scroll over and see that. So these mailing addresses are in San Pedro, Texas, or Redondo Beach. This will include the out-of-state people as well. So now this narrows it down to 627 records, but I'll just do out-of-state for now. So this is 55 records, I believe, here. And so what I can do is actually get contact information for these records. So I can go to Actions right here. Then I can go to Get Emails and Phones. And now I want to select Site Address, because what Total Farm will do is it'll find the contact information associated with those addresses. So in this case, since the property owner lives in a different address, the mailing address is going to be somewhere else. So the email associated with the site address is likely going to be the person that's living there. So in this case, it's likely going to be someone renting. Maybe they've been going online to different websites and ordering things, and they've been entering in their email and address, property address that is, that they're living at on certain websites, and then data aggregators get a hold of this data and then sell it, and that's how it gets available in systems like Fidelity Total Farm. So what I can do now is essentially buy these emails. I can say reverse email, then go to reverse for the site address for the potential renter. It's going to say it can find maybe around 70% of these emails. It's going to cost me anywhere from $2 to $3 here if I pay within credits within the system. It's $1 a credit that I can pay, and now it's going to do that search on the back end and then give me those emails. So now what I can do is press this export or share button at the top right of the screen, and I can say download CSV, and now I can use something like Mailchimp, for example, or Keller Williams Command if I'm a Keller Williams agent, ActivePipe if I'm a Vista Sotheby's agent, whatever CRM that you're using, they likely have some mass email capabilities within the brokerage that you work for. If you need help with uploading these contacts, I enjoy doing it. Happy to help. Let me know. So now we're going to need this content. And so that's where I went to ChatGPT and the Fidelity Agent 1 app. And so how this system works, it's kind of just this prompt that you can enter in anything that you want. You can kind of treat it as like a real person, almost like an assistant. And so I came up with this script where I said, write an email, acting as a realtor working in the San Pedro area, reaching out to renters, and let them know about the benefits of owning a home, such as equity, tax benefits, and more. And please provide an example with actual numbers showing the tax benefits. And I'll also say, and equity. And also let them know about the open house I'll be hosting in their neighborhood. And in this case, it was Coastal San Pedro this Sunday from 1 to 4. So now you hit search and it'll generate this for you. So now it's generating this email for me. So now it's actually giving numbers here that I can work with. as well as here. It's talking about the open house here. And I think this is a good script. Pause it if you want to actually read it in its entirety. So now I can essentially just copy this and use this in Mailchimp here. And if I didn't actually like this, actually I'm just going to copy all of it so I can use it. I can actually just say regenerate response, and then it's going to do the same thing. Now it's going to regenerate this for me. So let's see, maybe I like this one a little bit better. Yeah, I think this one's great actually, because this one actually gives numbers for equity here, and then the tax benefits here, as well as the open house information here. And obviously, if this was an actual open house, I could just replace Coastal San Pedro neighborhood with the actual property address, and I can include my contact information as well. So let's just copy this here and then use it in a campaign. So basically what I can do maybe is go to Mailchimp here. Let's create a new campaign, design email. I think Mailchimp is great. It's mostly free. Once you start to scale it up, it's going to start to cost a little bit more money. So what I can do now is design this email. It's going to give me just a default prompt to work with. So I'm just going to basically run with that. So let's move all of this text to the left and then paste it here. Let's just reformat this a bit. So now let's get rid of this. Let's just say, hello, future homeowner. Now let's just add some spaces in here. Okay, so I'll just put in my name here. You just obviously change all of this, put your contact information in, and then I want some actual content. And that's where I can turn to Fidelity Agent 1. So something visual on top of the email. So Fidelity Agent 1 is a great app. It's free to download. This calculator I'm about to show you is free as well. So there's a rent versus buy calculator right here within the app under calculators. So what I can do with this calculator is I can enter in a current rent amount and then a house price. I'll say $1 million. You can also change the assumptions. So let's say that I think rent appreciates a little bit higher. I can actually just maybe even do like the rent control percentage if I wanted to. So I put that in here. I select done, select compute. And then so now it gives me a calculator essentially showing me when it'll break even. So it says in 4 years and 11 months, you'll break even. At first, it's going to cost a little bit more to buy. Over time, with mortgage interest reduction and equity and appreciation in rent, it's going to get a little bit more expensive to be a renter. So if I slide it over to something like 10 years, this actually changes the calculator here and shows me that in 10 years, it costs just under $400,000 to buy versus almost $650,000 to rent. So I can press this share button, this square icon at the top right, to generate a template out of it. And I can actually change the template that it gives me. I think this one's a little bit complicated, so I like this one here. I select templates, then this one. Breaks it down nice and clean, the cost of owning versus renting over a 10-year period and how much money they'll save. So you could download this to your computer. I'm just going to take a quick screenshot for the sake of time. And now it's going to be on my computer. Now I go to add your photo. I'm going to say add upload image. I'm going to get that one from my computer. Now it's going to be placed into this for me. Boom. So now there it is. So I'm going to say right here, say see below for and another example. Now this is what the email looks like. And so essentially the flow is getting the data and the emails from Total Farm, importing those contacts to something like Mailchimp, Keller Williams Command, whatever it is, getting the content from something like ChatGPT, using Fidelity Agent 1 for visual content as well, and then send it out. And so you can essentially do this for every single open house. You can go crazy with it and get all of the emails for essentially every out-of-state property within the market area that you work at or a farm area. And I'm happy to help you set this up. I enjoy doing systems. I enjoy helping create these and design these. So let me know if you want to sit down, and I'd be happy to help you moving forward.